Do you think it's just a harmless habit? What if I told you this addiction is silently destroying your dreams and potential? Today, we're diving deep into a topic many avoid: addiction. It's time to face the truth and take control of your life. Chapter 1. The Perfect Storm. Steve, a high-achieving software engineer in his late 20s, who seemingly has it all: a good job, potential business ideas, and supportive friends, subtly highlight his addiction as a secret he hides from everyone. His addiction begins as a coping mechanism for stress during college, but grows insidiously over the years. Describe the slow, imperceptible effects: declining health, lack of energy, loss of interest in hobbies, procrastination, and a deteriorating self-image. Show his first major failure: losing a promising work promotion due to his dwindling focus. Steve doesn't yet acknowledge the issue. Instead, he blames external factors like stress at work and starts isolating himself further. Chapter 2. The Abyss Beckons. Steve's daily life spirals further. His addiction takes control, eating away at his time and self-worth. His relationships start to crumble as he cancels plans with friends and avoids family gatherings. Introduce his physical symptoms: persistent fatigue, dark circles under his eyes, and a lack of motivation to groom himself. A vivid description of a weekend spent entirely in isolation, consumed by his habit, ending in deep guilt and shame. Flashbacks to his younger self, ambitious, energetic, and confident. Contrast this with his current state, emphasizing how far he's fallen. A minor realization occurs during a video call with his parents, who notice his withdrawn demeanor and unhealthy appearance. Their concern plants a seed of awareness in Steve. Chapter 3. The Breaking Point. Steve's addiction begins affecting his work directly. He misses deadlines, forgets meetings, and earns a reputation as unreliable. During a crucial presentation, Steve freezes, unable to concentrate or articulate his thoughts. His boss pulls him aside for a stern talk, hinting at possible termination. That night, Steve stares at himself in the mirror, disgusted by his reflection. He feels trapped, hopeless, and lost. He Googles symptoms like lack of focus and addiction to dopamine. Steve reads a quote online that deeply resonates: "Addiction is the silent thief of potential." He breaks down, realizing how his addiction has stolen years of his life. For the first time, Steve admits to himself, "I have a problem and I need help." You might be thinking, how bad can it really be? The truth is, it doesn't just affect you physically. It drains your mental energy, focus, and confidence. Let's explore how this habit is holding you back, and more importantly, how you can break free from it. Chapter 4. Confronting the Monster. Steve spends a sleepless night researching addiction, dopamine dependency, and recovery methods. He lists the consequences of his addiction: ruined friendships, missed career opportunities, damaged health, and shattered self-esteem. The next morning, he decides to fight back. However, his first attempt to quit cold turkey fails within hours, leaving him feeling even more defeated. Highlight his inner dialogue: the struggle between his rational mind and his compulsive urges. Introduce his first small victory: uninstalling certain apps and rearranging his room to reduce temptation. Steve understands that recovery isn't about willpower alone. It requires a structured plan and consistent effort. Chapter 5. The Plan to Rebuild. Steve develops a multi-step recovery plan. Each step is detailed with vivid examples of his struggle and progress. 1. Acknowledging the problem. Steve journals about his addiction daily, confronting his emotions and the root causes. 2. Building a routine. He begins his mornings with exercise and meditation. Describe how jogging in the park becomes his escape from temptation. 3. Identifying triggers. Steve realizes his triggers are boredom, stress, and late-night phone usage. He replaces these moments with constructive activities like reading and cooking. 4. Seeking accountability. He confides in his best friend, who checks in regularly. Together, they set milestones and celebrate small victories. 5. Joining a support group. Steve attends an online meeting where he hears stories of others overcoming similar struggles. This inspires him and keeps him grounded. 6. Therapy. Steve starts seeing a therapist who helps him address deeper issues of loneliness and low self-esteem. Steve learns that addiction isn't just a physical battle, it's deeply emotional and psychological. Chapter 6. Falling and rising again. Despite his progress, Steve experiences a major relapse after a stressful workday. He feels immense guilt and considers giving up. His accountability partner reminds him that relapses are part of recovery. Steve recommits to his plan with renewed determination. He takes additional steps, like attending in-person support group meetings and deleting certain apps permanently. Steve experiences a noticeable change: improved focus at work, better sleep, and a sense of control over his life. Progress isn't linear, but persistence pays off. Chapter 7. The Climb to Freedom. 6 months into his journey, Steve reflects on his progress. His energy levels, confidence, and productivity are higher than ever. He starts working on his long-forgotten dream, a tech startup. With his renewed focus, he makes significant strides, including securing funding for his idea. Steve also reconnects with old friends and begins building new, healthier relationships. Addiction didn't just rob him of time, it blinded him to his true potential. Chapter 8. Sharing the Light. A year later, Steve becomes a mentor in his support group, sharing his story to inspire others. He writes a blog about his journey, emphasizing the importance of acknowledging addiction, seeking help, and building a purpose-driven life. Steve reflects on the quote that started it all: "Addiction is the silent thief of potential." Now he is determined to help others reclaim their lives. Chapter 9. A life reclaimed. Steve's startup becomes a success, and he is happier and healthier than ever. In the final scenes, Steve celebrates his birthday with friends and family, expressing gratitude for the journey that brought him back to life. No matter how far you've fallen, there's always a way back. Would you like me to expand any specific chapter or focus on additional elements in this structure? I wonder if you know what addiction I'm talking about? Comment, like, and subscribe.